In the blog post listed below, the author provides a really dangerous example of Web Application Firewall defaults that are within AWS. I really encourage you to check it out because there are a lot of great lessons to be learned from the scenario that he gives. The first thing he points out is by default, AWS only sends the first 8 kilobytes of the request body to the WAF for inspection. Then, as most people do, if you're using the managed rule set, it's providing this gap where the WAF is not looking at any request that is between the 8 kilobyte threshold and the 10 kilobyte threshold that's specified in the managed rule set. And so an attacker can exploit that blind spot between 8 and 10 kilobytes. And so he demonstrates how a web application would be vulnerable with a crafted attack that focuses on that blind spot. Well, then he shows you how to defend against that by going into the rules and modifying your managed rule groups by turning on the core rule set and the SQL database protections. In our audits, we find a lot of times that people have not modified these rule sets in that way. They haven't gone in to understand what the settings are that they need to enable. Many times when we're looking at this WAF configuration, we see that those core rule sets and those SQL database protections have not been enabled. So it's really imperative for you to understand these defaults that can be dangerous and that you understand the settings that you need to take control of when configuring your WAF. One of the things that is so important for companies to do when they're about to go through an audit with us or a penetration test is to not simply say, well, we have the AWS WAF, but to also understand how it's configured. You want to show your auditor that you have a standard that you used in order to configure what AWS provides you that meets that standard. What are you trying to accomplish? What are the protections that you expect to have in place? Have you done an inspection of the way your environment is configured so that you can articulate to the auditor exactly what controls you've enabled and you're able to defend the things that you haven't enabled. Again, check out this blog post because it provides a lot of illustrations that will motivate you to go in and remove the defaults and put your customized rule set in place.